Alright, problem 15 says the function n equals negative 3b plus 24 represents the number of eggs n left in the carton after making b breakfast sandwiches. Identify the independent and dependent variables. So for part A, the independent, what do I have control over? What do I get to choose? Well, I get to choose how many sandwiches I make. So the independent variable is going to be b, which is the number of breakfast sandwiches. All right, then the dependent, what depends on that, is going to be n, how many eggs I have left. So if I make more sandwiches, I'm going to have fewer eggs left. Number of eggs left. All right, part B says the domain is 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the range? So they're basically telling you that the independent variables are 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the range? So I'm going to make myself a little chart. Put domain, range. The domain is 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically this is saying if I make one breakfast sandwich, how many eggs am I going to have left in the carton? So if I put 1 right in here, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 plus 24 is 21. Now what if I made 2 sandwiches? I'm going to plug 2 in there. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 24 is 18. Number 3, if I made 3 sandwiches, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 24 is 15. All right, and then if I made 4 sandwiches, negative 3 times 4 is negative 12 plus 24 is 12. So those would be my domain and ranges. And then C, it says, is this situation discrete or continuous? So we're going to be looking at the independent variable for this one, the number of breakfast sandwiches. Okay, since we would not really make a third of a sandwich or a quarter of a sandwich or 0.2 of a sandwich, we're basically only talking about we're going to make 1 sandwich or 2 sandwiches or 3 sandwiches. This situation is going to be discrete, so no whole numbers or anything like that. Okay, number 16, the function c equals 115n plus 220 represents the total lodging cost c in dollars for a stay at a vacation destination of n nights. A, once again, is to identify the independent and dependent variables. So for the independent, what do I get to choose? What do I have freedom about? I get to choose how many nights that I stay. So the independent is going to be n, which is the number of nights. Okay, and then the dependent is obviously going to be the other variable, which is c, the cost, because the cost is going to depend on how many nights I stay. All right, B says, you have budgeted $700 for lodging for your vacation. Find the domain and the range of this situation. So the domain, I'm thinking this, I'm going to change the wording on this a little bit. We just want to say, instead of what is the domain and range of this situation, how long can you stay? Okay, so we want to figure out how long can I stay for this. The $700 is a cost, so I'm going to put it right up here for the cost. So we're going to write an equation, 700 equals 115n plus 220. Okay, and then I'm going to solve that for n. So I'm going to, if you want to draw a line, that's fine. I'm going to subtract 220 from both sides. Let's see, 700 minus 220 is going to be 480. And that's going to equal 115n, and I do not have a calculator, but if you'll give me a second, I'll find my calculator. And from here, I'm going to be taking 480 divided by 115. There we go. I'm going to divide by 115. When I do that, I get 4.17, but I can't stay 0.17 of a night, so I could stay 4 nights with that budget. Okay, number 17, the tables below show the force F in newtons needed to accelerate each object 8 meters per second squared. Based on the pattern, fill in the missing force. So we're just going to figure out what goes here and then what goes here. And if I'm looking at this pattern here, it looks like it's going up by 3s every time. And since these are just 1, 2, 3, 4 going in order, we can go ahead and simply put a 9 there. And then these ones, if I look at it, let's see, I'm not sure exactly what it's going up by, but I can tell if I took 1 times 8, I'd get 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32. So it looks like I'm multiplying by 8 every time, so 2 times 8 would be 16. Okay, number 18, let s of t be the speed in meters per second of an object after t seconds of motion. Explain the meaning of each statement. So the biggest thing is s is the speed. So this, whatever it equals, that is the speed. K is the speed, and then anything that has an s in it is the speed, all right? And then it says of an object t seconds after t seconds of motion. So the number in parentheses, that's a number of seconds. So this 9 is the number of seconds. This 10 and the 15 are the number of seconds. So as we try to interpret this, this would be after 0 seconds, or before I start, the speed of the object is 8 meters per second. So I'm just going to say at time t equals 0, the speed of the object is 8 meters per second. Okay, so if I look at this one, this would be after 9 seconds, the speed of the object is k meters per second. So at 9 seconds, the speed of the object is k meters per second. Even though we don't know what k is, that's okay. All right, now this one, it doesn't have numbers equal, so this would just be at 10 seconds, the speed is less than the speed after 15 seconds. So another way of saying that would be at 10 seconds, the object is going slower than it is at 15 seconds. So at 10 seconds, the object is going slower than it is at 15 seconds. And you could word that differently. The biggest thing is the speed is greater when it's going 15 seconds than when it was going 10 seconds. Okay, 19, the function c of x equals 0.41x plus 45 represents the cost in dollars of a one-day truck rental when the truck is driven x miles. So first of all, it asks, what is the truck rental cost when you drive 100 miles? Well, 100 miles, it says 100 is the x, so we are going to put 100 in for the x in that equation. So we are going to have 0.41 times 100 plus 45. And that will give us the cost. So I'm going to get my calculator out here. 0.41 times 100 plus 45 is equal to $86. So that cost for going 100 miles would be $86. Okay, for part B, it says how many miles did you drive when your cost was $65.99. So this time the cost is $65.99. So I'm going to plug $65.99 in for the cost this time. We're going to be looking for the x. Okay, so now notice we've got a nice equation that we get to solve from last chapter. We're going to subtract 45 from both sides. So 65.99 minus 45 will give us $20.99. And then that will still equal the 0.41x. To get x by itself, I'll divide both sides by the 0.41. And that comes up to be 51.20. So how many miles did you drive? I would say it was about 51 miles.